Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel, and in this one we have Graves because on 12.17 he had some buffs. The Q cooldown being shifted a little bit, longer early, shorter later, and base damage being applied to his ultimate. A little bit of an increase there. Now, was he weak before? No, not in the opinion of skilled players. Champion was still strong, smurfing junglers still loved to spam him, and he was having good success pretty much everywhere. The win rate didn't represent that because he's a harder champion to execute. Now that's a sort of pun on the Dark Harvest collector kind of vibe we're going for in this video, but at the same time, the buffs didn't really shift it too much because they would only apply to skillful Graves players. Now, in this one, I thought, how about we have a look, see what videos, what champions, no, not videos, what replays, what players were doing something just a little bit different. And I found one. On Career Grandmaster, he plays with Swifties. He likes to get Swifty, as it were. Yes, the map control that Graves brings forth in basically every game he ever plays is insane. It's the best in the game, apart from Nidalee perhaps. You're just always on this metronomic frequency, farming, ganking, objectiving, invading. There's just such an ease to play him when you can see the jungle for what it is. Runes on your screen now, definitely a Dark Harvest rune set. Remember, with the Dark Harvest and the Collector, you've got a little bit of low HP execute synergy in that arena. And of course, I do have a Graves guide with all the different kinds of builds, Bruiser, Assassin, different rune sets of this build, all in the Zara.gg live companion guide presented by Virkayu. Have a look in the description below, tell me what you think. But for this game, we are against a Lilia. Now, I wanted something that would show you the power he has in the game, but at the same time, also had perhaps something human. You know, something that you guys could say, yes, I know what that feels like because I've done it. And of course, that means we're gonna have, yes, a good carry performance, but a gigantic ass throw. And I think you guys will like it. I think you'll like it because it's exactly the kind of throws that I have and you have and every man has. It's the people's throw. And while you're thinking about what that means, keep it in mind because we'll get there very soon in this video. A little bit of mystery and curiosity. Maybe we're missing that sometimes. Okay, bot lane, we have here Freljord versus Samira and Amumu, which is hilarious because, you know, Amumu didn't really change much. And then he was in the meta for support after the Q change bandage toss. And then he went away and now he's back again. So, hey, it is what it is. I don't mind it because I play things like Ornamundo, which means I'm just CC immune. Well, most of the time. And then I can kind of just make emote flexings on the Amumu. Now, we know when she gets leashed here to Lilia, she's sequencing up. So what Graves does, and this is something I've talked about a lot. If you can fall clear, it doesn't mean you should fall clear. It also means you should think deeply about your sequencing in particular. Now this Grump versus Blue, you know, two together camps, double camping, that's going away. Yeah. Season 13, I'll let you digest that a little bit. That is going away. Have a look at the video on the main channel. We talk a little bit about it, but wait for full final details before you overreact. We will only know the truth in November. Not right now, but that is going away, yes. And of course we could fall clear here. We could do the wolves, but we know Lilia will clear and scuttle faster than us. Thereby, we want to do the two edge camps to make sure that our clear is efficient and we have all that experience gone, and she can't counter jungle us when we go for this dive. That's why this clear is pretty damn good. The return on that Q having huge AD ratios, excuse me. We burn the flash, we burn the sums, executed. Let's just go in and die for first blood. I think any snowballing, well, maybe we could have lived, but if you know that the Talon and the Lilia are coming down, who would you rather have the kill? I think at this point, Samira, Talon, or Lilia. Probably Lilia, but at the same time, that can be kind of obnoxious in its own right. So, fine. Remember, first blood kills equal trades, 2 for 1s, 3 for 1s, 3 for 2s, 3 for 3s even, as we saw with the Eve video on the main channel the other day. That is good for hyper-scaling champions, hyper-scaling junglers, because you will use whatever you get more than they will, right? Any snowball, not hyper-scaling, but hyper-snowballing, they will use the serrated joke purchase better than Samira is going to use her serrated joke purchase for the map. Now, we go ahead and do this. We know that this is gone, right, 100%, but we have evade versus on top lane. So how can we use this particular build with the Swifties, okay, to snowball? Here we go, look at this. We can E over this and walk around this. There we go, not seen. If you watch the Vision Tricks video I put out on my main channel, which you should have, an underused and misused tip. Let me just pause you for a second because you'll be wondering, wait, what's the Graves doing? He's waiting because he was tracking through all of this, right? Where she warded. We saw this. And now in the next season, we're going to be able to ping this ward and have the time run. And for now, you can't click it unless you see it through placement or a Scry's Bloom, right? You can click it. You see on the bottom left there on your in-game, it will be on the top left. You can see the seconds. They're 70 out of 95. So what he's doing is basically waiting for the moment to all in. Once Ornn commits, he commits. Okay, force her to flash. Try and get that condemn out of the way. Let's see. He flashes there, gets the flash E, which is very, very good. We get the Brita proc from the W, and Graves shows up and says, thank you. And this is exactly right. Good use of Fog of War evasion. Good use of recognizing what was warded and using patience, waiting for the jungler, the top lane, excuse me, to go in. And now the ping wheel that we're getting next season. Yes, that's right. A lot of cool changes. I'll link the video below. The ping wheel is essentially going to allow us to ping more things like hold, go in, bait. And when you're trying to gank like this, that's exactly where I want to say go in, right? Go in before I get there. Or if I'm doing a lane gank, bait it, bait it, bait it. So those pings, I think, are going to be absolutely huge for jungle communication on ganks, just like you saw there. Now, this clear, of course, gives us this wolf, and because we're Graves and we have the E and we're smooth like this, we can obviously make this gank, and then our camps will respawn like this. And you know what? When Vayne TP's back and burns her flash, and will try and abuse the fact that she thinks she can beat the melee top laner, Graves can do a cheeky lane gank. Here we go. Hello. In a minion wave. Q. R. And he gives the kill away. It's either with Ornn, when you hit that Q, you can pull R1, and you can actually hit that E before R2 arrives, and you can R2 again. But in this case, it's a Vayne, you know, so we just kind of slow, and the Graves can do the damage here. Huge! If you have a ranged top laner, sneaky cheeky gank, after ganking another lane to give them a false sense of security, then do a camp and repeat, so now they have no flash, no TP, and now we can reset. Now, of course, the reason for this as well is that if the Lily is sequencing up, you can kind of anticipate her to repeat gank, or at least gank this. What Graves does is says, I don't care, I'm going to do this anyway. Metronomic consistency, all right? Always moving with a specific cadence. Here is the Lilia. She is now way ahead in CS. That's worth noting. The Graves here has compromised his CSing. Now, at the end of the game, he will have 7 CSPM. And the Lilia will have like 8.3, 8.6. Can Graves have like 10 CSPM? Yeah, of course. Really, really easily. But sometimes that smoothness, that map rotation ability, as it were, is better used to service your lanes and your gold income. Here we go again. We're going to take the Grump. We're going to move to the bottom lane here. We have the Brahms passive stacking up. Mega stuns, ult from range. Remember, the Dark Harvest is really good from your ult because you can stack it from further away. Electrocute will always be better for that one-shot combo, but in this particular case, we've got a lot of mobility and CC, so you don't want to get too close. But at the same time, Dark Harvest always good for scaling in your solo queue environment. Right, Lilia shown up here, last chapter built, both have 1 charge on the smite. Lilia ding 7, so she does have that lead. But Graves' job here is to make sure we can get the kill in Samira. We're going to move on in there with our E and actually fall. As I said, I wanted a human game. I wanted a game where, yes, we could carry the game, but I also wanted to show you what happens when you make these typical mistakes. Because look, let's face it, these perfect games, these takeover games, are great, but it really shows you like a perfect math example. And while those are good, and it's always good to look at that, it's nice to see, okay, look, how does someone play super, super well, have the ability to carry games, but still make human mistakes? And of course, there you go. Overambitious, tries to go on the Samira, ends up dying under tower, 420, 420, not a cigar, but instead an Amsterdam unit, maybe. And now, of course, the Lilia, sorry, who is this? Zoe, champion that exists in the League of Legends, is roaming a little bit. Talon mid is coming back a little bit. I can say I'm not very happy about it. We're going to shoot on up, take our red buff. Now, remember, Herald, Dragon, things like this, crucial, 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 crucial. As well as objectively neutral crabs. Cross-map Prey Ash ultimate, not quite as grandiose, but definitely a nice little hit. Although, I always hated that. You know, when I'm playing with Ash bot lanes, I hate it when they try and cross-map hero. I know, of course, you get the longest stun, but I'd rather use it on an all-in in the bot lane, you know? Especially if you have chain CC. Like, if we can just use that to snowball the lane first, that's better for me. Obviously, with the Samira, it's less viable. Well, the Lilia tried to do some top 10 gaming moments, and then instead got montaged by the Graves. A little bit of waffling here, a little bit of waffling. Floating, looking, probing. Lilia's just farming it up, farming it up, farming it up, which is, you're not used to seeing a Graves be out-farmed to this tempo, but at the same time, she's not having the same impact, and her KDA is largely funded by the Graves' mistake. Hey, I mean, we have 6 stacks. We only want the stacks. W, Smokescreen, one of the most broken abilities in the game. Not quite as strong as Rengar Cleanse W, and not quite as strong as Miasma on the Cassiopeia, but definitely hugely, hugely strong. We know she's here in the zone, so you don't want to be too disrespectful to this, obviously. I mean, there's always lower mana. She does have Cleanse, but you don't want to coin flip too much, and obviously the Lilia has now gone back to base, so let's go and give our blue to the mid laner. Definitely not smooth in this particular scenario. We are going to take over this game, don't worry. But again, I wanted to show you something where even a high elo Graves is struggling to find that opening, that smooth operator feeling, right, with the Swifty boots. Now, the Swifty boots, of course, he runs a lot, but, you know, against a Lilia, really, really huge, okay, because you get the slow resist. And obviously, the slow resist is nice on those boots, but it's mostly about the mobility, being able to go places. When your bot lane does this, don't coin flip it. You see how he doesn't coin flip it? He's ready to move in and impact this directly, no hesitation, all right? He wants to make sure that he's there for this gank. If they turn it in their favor, cool, I get a free dragon. If they don't, I'm able to rotate, get a double kill. That's good jungling, all right? You make the play as if it's going to go badly and as if you're going to be needed. You don't say, well, this is the lowest variance play, because then eventually you're not going to get leads, right? You have to play aggressively in solo queue. And here it's a good one. Let me try and get into this gank. Okay, you guys did a good job. Cool, free objective. Lilia shows top lane here. She has, of course, yeeted the Herald equivalent opposite. Graves could go for some counter junglings, but as I said, a cool thing to do in these particular scenarios when mid laners are AFK, dead, DC'd, roaming, whatever, is go push this. Go push this right here. I mean, I would actually think deeply about yeeting a plate here. I think he should have taken a plate, quickly snuck over taking this, and then gotten out. But I don't know what's going to happen here, but I think this is a little bit grief because Talon's up, Amumu's up. They saw us do this, and they've tracked us, and we could get collapsed on pretty easily here. I see the pings. I see the ping. I don't want to swap the vow. You know how I know? Because it happens to me too. I also, you know, I like Raptors. I like counter jungling in those moments. Then of course you fall for it. So a very human error, and I'm sure most of you have died trying to steal Raptors. And in this case, just taking the plates and falling away or falling for this neutral crab is better. The outside in rule is great, but it doesn't work if the back timers don't sync up with your ideology in that sense. You know, like you're doing this, but they're all respawning and collapsing on you, and your bot lane is base, your mid lane is dead. So we're going to lose here a random scuttle. And now there's a perma fight going on. We do have the Emerald Glaive. Remember, I put the collect on the thumbnail because it's a crucial aspect of the build. You do your Emerald Glaive, you do your Eclipse, you get double lethality spike, and then you go into the collector for finishing that off. Out of base here, we don't go back to farming because that's not something we're really doing this game. We want to make sure we rotate to the kill. Look at that. I mean, his damage, his AD ratios are absolutely nutty. It's like you got that 130 on the return of your Q, it's like 80 on the way out, so you know, you put that with lethality and Dark Harvest, and he does a lot of damage. I know that I released a video with Fleet. Fleet is always good too. Whether you want to go lethality or fighter, Fleet is good. Specifically against range, stickier comps where you kind of need that because you're a low-ranged AD carry in that sense. You do have the True Grit passive. You have that built-in fighter component. But, you know, Dark Harvest is way more of that, hey, look, you guys are squishy. I can deal with that, and I'm going to melt all of you. And a little bit of selfishness here, just like the E. You can turn it around. What is our gold amount now? 6-6, and she's 6-2. She is ahead in cash monies in terms of CS, but because we have 7 kills, again, more than 3 deaths, right? 7-3, all right? It's over 2, the KDA. That's fine. That's okay. The deaths are all dumb. The deaths are something you can go into your replays and say, look, I understand what I did. I was trying the high-risk play. It is what it is. As long as I get something out of it or correct it, good to go. And the E video kind of talks about that as well. Now, we do have Ornn here. We want to kind of be worthy of this upgrade, and this is the core component finish here. Umbral, Eclipse, Prowler Zoe, huh? Ah! Grace tried to show up there, but she actually... Well played, very nicely done. Anyway, so the Swifties now are completed. You could warrant potentially earlier Swifties, I think, but the issue with the earlier Swifties is he's trying to get in for this last plate. This is going to be a great... See? That's 160 he could have had. And if you were like 160 off of item completion, big problem. So now we have warning pings over here, and we're moving up just to steal this. You see the pings from the blue team, seeing basically the movement here, most likely he's stealing that. Just how quickly he takes it. 2 lethality items plus Swifties, you're moving around the map very, very quickly. 4 or 5 on the movement speed. Umbral Glaives allows you such dominating vision control, and obviously Zombie Ward is really easy to stack in high elo. Is it worth going Zombie Ward in lower elo games? I mean, I don't recommend you play Graves anyway. Graves is difficult. His win rate should not be above 50. If Graves' win rate is above 50%, it's too high. It's just way too high, you know? It cannot be that way. Asleep she goes. It's a waste of ultimate there by the... Check this out. Yes. I mean, 11 stacks in the Dark Harvest. Collector finished. Nice short cooldown on that ultimate. Sorry, on that mythic passive. We are going to lose that, unfortunately. Oh, let's have a look here. Hello. Let me just reposition there with a little bit of a smoke screen. Use the Q against the wall. Remember, upon hitting terrain, you got that bounce back sooner, and that return AD ratio is 50% bigger than the outgoing AD ratio. So, you know, good use of Q there. I mean, most people kind of waste that Q for the outgoing. The return is really, you really want to drag it back, and using it against walls is huge. Really good use of Graves mechanics, and of course, a double item spike. And the slow resist, the ability to move around fights a lot quicker, is reminiscent of why people have taken phase rush on champions like this. Don't take phase rush on Graves now at all, but this is what he does. This is what this player likes to do in Grandmasters, pretty much not rush these, but use these boots all the time, but use these boots as much as possible, sometimes Merc Treads and of course plated steel caps, but really, the mid-game rotations, the late, early game rotations is where he really likes to come online, and being able to get to the fires on the map that your team are causing and douse them with some water and put them out. That's what he likes to do. We're going to lose a dragon here, unfortunately, I think. Oh, wait, let's actually have a look here. Oh, the Ash error means that we will get the kill on the Lydia. Graves, this is just a cheeky little smoke screen. And we snacked it away. So, well played from your team. Well played from your team. And of course, we're going to have the dragon voting button next season as well. I mean, look at the damage, the auto attacks. It's absolutely insane, and it's not over the top to say it like that. I mean, this thing on a 16-second cooldown, right? Obviously for range, but it's still not that big. That's not that big. That's up multiple times in a fight, you know, in these long fights. And the damage he has up front anyway, and of course a true grip passive, right? Rewarding those with good aggressive positioning. What are we at now? 16 stacks? Let's have a look here. 1100 damage, effectively done. We have here 3 stacks in the zombie ward. You see, this is what I'm saying. If there's not a lot of wards in there, it's not giving you a lot of return, but, you know, it's still better with the Umbral. You will get it. You know, it keeps your scaling component. You don't really need it like other champions to snowball. Treasure Hunt is the most important aspect there from your cash money gold, because you want the serrated dirks and so on. Vayne, you are deeply out of position. Chad based on ward over there. You would have seen that one though. It's a little... Don't know why Vayne's allowed to use that. Vayne tops shouldn't be allowed to use the on ward. You guys agree with me on that one, right? Yeah. Let me know. Right? I know you agree. That ward is reserved only for Chad champions. Cool champions like Ornn and Mundo and Volibear. Herald's up. Let's snack that baby. Push her off. Don't let her get her. I mean, the Lilia farmed very well early, and now officially we've caught up and we're ahead in CS. So don't feel the need to get desperate when a farming jungler is 30 CS up. If you're making the right map plays, wait, why aren't we following him? If you're making the right map plays, yes, and you are everywhere in your lanes where you need to be, you're rotating to fights, you're getting objectives, and you are making the better game-winning plays, and of course, if you're 14, 3, and 1, I couldn't care less if you were 50 CS up. I couldn't care less. A good job to you for farming your own jungle and denying Graves a bit of counter-jungling, and, you know, he died counter-jungling. Doesn't matter. The sequencing of zone camps plus objectives is great. And again, we're going to be very nice and give that up to the Zoe. We do have the Herald here. We want to look to bust one of these open. Or bust Samira open. Because that's an overcommit. I mean, she gets the objective ratio. Here we go. We hit the smoke screen. She doesn't know what's going on. We're red summoning her to reduce that damage to Drowsy and the kill from the Zoe. The Zoe damage is coming online as well. Umbral Glaive. Stack. Thank you so much. Activate this. Push this. This is what you're looking for. You see people overcommit to their side waves or their mid wave, it doesn't really matter. The second Herald is really used to drive into the base. Now, you don't always want to take an early inhib, and that's where this throw can happen. I think this is where the throw will happen. I've seen the gold graph, but I don't know exactly what causes the throw, but based upon what I'm seeing here is we're going to deeply overcommit for inhibs and towers. Vayne's going to get another bounty on the top side as well. So they get this bounty, they get this bounty, and now you might give them a lot of shutdowns. We get 700 on Graves, 300 on Zoe, 150 on Ash. Yeah, we killed the movement. The damage, man. Now, the Graves wants to leave, and the team are like, no, we stay. And Graves is like, no, I want to leave. Ornn has a TP to the top lane here, and he's going to get melted because Vayne is champion. And, of course, she is going to... Well, you know, that wasn't as obvious as I thought. It's very satisfying. No! The actions and mechanics of a man who knows he's in the wrong position. They're just trying to end. So Ornn gives a kill back. Nice flash ult by the Amumu though, let's be honest. That was a very nice Q ult. And obviously using that flash as well. Very, very nice. And a triple kill, that's a Baron, no? Double bounty, shutdowns, an inhib of supers running at your face. Graves going him across out there, overcommitting to try kill a Lily under tower. And Vayne with a TP now. So that's a Baron, yeah? And she has Rage Blade completed. I mean, the Lily stopwatch is... I'm glad I didn't skip that. That was entertaining. Okay, Dragon is coming up next. Clear the wards. Now they have a Baron. That's a huge gold swing. That's because the gold swing did this, and then poof, to the enemy team. And let's see what happens next. We do have the Dragon coming up. We can still secure that. We have good deep vision here. This will now give them a lot of cash money, though. You need to keep this pressure up. Right, Ocean Dragon is for me. Yes. 16-4-2, though. Huge carry potential. Talon overcommits as all Talons will because they just desperately have to be the star of every show, and they never realize when they don't have the atomization necessary to do the killings. We do take that tower. Vayne is now going topside with that Baron. This makes me so nervous when a top lane Vayne gets the ability here to come back with these split pushes and shutdowns and bounties. You really have to be forward into the enemy base. Push, 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 push. Force her to react to you. Don't overcommit to her. We're going to take the second inhib now. Vayne is here with Baron. Vayne can back, right? She has empowered recall, so Zoe's to stop the back. But Zoe's the other member that's fed on our team. We do kind of need her to be around here when they have Baron pushing this back. Be very careful here. Thank goodness. When you're in these games and you have this gross overcommit on your part where you give a shutdown, your team doesn't follow suit and they end up dying as well. Top laner dies here, you know, and you give them a free Baron. Especially like a Vayne comp, a Lily comp, a scaling comp, you get so nervous. You're like, oh, we're still winning. Still winning. We can still win, right? And then, you know, the doubt creeps in, and then you start playing not to lose, and you don't put that pressure up, and that's why you throw these games. That's why you throw these games. Okay. We're gonna schnack that one. We do have Collector completed as well. We are going into the Cirilla's Grudge, by the way. Not low doms. You could go low doms into IE. That is a viable strategy. But against a team without any sort of tankiness, the Cirilla's slow, especially also that they're quite highly mobile. The Cirilla's slow is really, really strong. And yeah, you need that armor penetration with your lethality build. The Collector isn't really built for the crit so much as just the minor execute to synergize with Dark Harvest with Graves' obscene damage. But also the stickiness factor. Very, very good. Very, very nice. And, you know, when you've got the slow resist here, pretty good. Now, you do have mid and bot inhib down. The key is here, you need to wait for those waves to join up. You don't overcommit for a fight here. Ornn's going to opt for disengage. Amumu's going deep onto the Graves here. They get avoided. Nice E by the Ornn there. Graves does get stuck into the Amumu ult, is able to reposition beautifully with his ER, but the Vayne goes into the back line, gets multiple kills, and as I was saying, this is the problem. This is the problem, my friends. You need to wait for these waves to be pushed, which is why it's good for someone with TP or someone with a lot of 1v3 potential to push these waves in sooner, rather than you guys being chilling here waiting for them to engage. Because if these waves are pushed up, they're going to see you, and they're going to try and engage here to stop you from being able to close. Because they know that if these waves hit and you start sieging this, they're going to be drowned out by supers at this stage in the game. So what they want to do is all in you before these supers get to you, which is what they do. They beat you, and now they get to farm the rest of the supers here while saving this turret. It's classic and obvious, and they should have known this. They should have known. Why is there is this like the last mosquito of the summer? It's the last mosquito of the summer. Great, you know I've had issues with them this year. We're gonna move for that. Too many mosquitoes and spiders in this house. Although in South Africa I'm used to, you know, more deadly mosquitoes. So I guess it's okay, but still, I mean, Belgian mosquitoes, come on. Come on. And also the spiders, like the spiders, you know, in South Africa, arachnid phobia, not a good country for that. Anyway, so now we've respawned, and now we're reveling in the fact that we've thrown twice, and we still think, hey, we can win this game, especially as Graves now. We're basically full build. The last thing missing there would be, you could just, I don't know if IE is a good idea here. I would just go GA against the coin flip, to be honest with you. The arm is really nice. You could justify Randuin's or Frozen Heart actually against their comp, against the Vayne. The talent goes super deep. He is actually able to help kill the Graves. That's absolutely huge. But we do kill him back. Now it's on our team. Which is, you know, words you don't really want to say, is it? Don't really want to say that. Hey guys, it's on my team. As long as you're getting one back though, again. Ideally 1 or 2 back, and this death is not so bad. But can team wait? Oh, the multiple pings are going to be great. Back off, back off, back off. Take the dragon, take the dragon. All of these things are going to allow us to communicate at a much higher level with our pings. Okay, good. So we killed the Amumu. Zoe's toning it up. But the Graves, not a clean game, right? But also a great example of you guys who do these KDAs. You guys do these KDAs in your games, in your elo, and then you tell me, oh man, I couldn't carry the game. Yeah, because you have 7 deaths, 6 deaths. And that's cost you all of the lead you had. And your team wasn't able to play off of it. Like, they weren't able to make the right plays while you were dead. And in this case, there's one player, the Zoe, who's able to play around that with the lead that you've given everybody. And in your games, if you have that one person, you too will win these games. But if you don't, and you make the mistake, you will lose. Graves shows up, when ult from range, it doesn't matter. Despite our death, because we killed the Talon, it is absolutely huge. And of course, with the 3 dragons we have, it is absolutely huge. And the raw gold lead we got our team is absolutely huge. Blue team is currently in the gold lead at the moment. Inhib's gonna spawn. Nice. Amumu ult, just keep killing them, chain killing them. We want to make sure we live, though. You could actually, that's true. You could actually, as Graves here, go BT. And respawn, that's so annoying. You could go BT as well. If you wanted a bit of damage and sustain versus things like Vayne and just a bit of lifesteal, with the Omni Vamp on your Eclipse, it could be juicy. Super juicy, in fact. 26-3. Zoe and him ended up carrying the game, but you see the benefits there of being able to move around the map with the Swifty boots. I'm not entirely sold on it for the mass population, but if you're a Graves main and you like to be everywhere and play a little less farmy, then this could really work. The Collector plus, the Collector plus the rest of this build, really your standard Assassin lethality build. Hopefully you can see though, the cost of throws, and it very easily could have gone the other direction had he made 1 or 2 even more micro mistakes. So keep it in mind. Just wanted to show you some of that as well. I think it's really good coachable stuff for you. Best of luck in your games this week. Trying to go for like a daily cadence, like 6 times a week. So keep those bells on. Sub, like, comment. Join me on Zada GG and on the main channel. And I'll see you there.